welcome back. This is the Modernist Guide, and today finally getting to music review, which I've been wanting to do for a good while now. And it's gonna be a little weird because I love talking about music, but I'm still working out how to do it exactly. Rate system is just 1 to 10. I might do some 0.25s and 0.75 sometimes if I think something's just barely good enough or just not good enough for the next rating. And it's just really hard to figure out what to do first. You want to do a really big important record or something like that, but I also just kind of wanted to do weird music, or at least weird to me because no one else is like talking about it, so it may not be weird as much as just not as popular, but music that I think is still pushing ideas and having fun doing it, because I do believe a lot of music should just be positive creatively, not necessarily thematically. So I'm probably going to do my best not to do a lot of overly negative ratings and not really rate a lot of stuff below like a 5 out of 10. Some's 5 out of 10, you should still give it a shot. And you could probably deduct a whole point or two off of whatever rating I give for an actual like general consensus, because I probably like it a little bit more than other people might. With that being said, I figured I would just, because of the timing and it's the most recent thing in my head, just rattle off things that I think about. Couple of wackadoo boys from Bedford, England. Don Broco is this, I guess, rock fusion electronic group at this point, founded in '08. It is a four-piece consisting of Rob Delaney, Simon Delaney, Matt Donnelly, and Tom Doyle. They had one member previously named Luke Rayner, who I assume they kicked out of the band for not having a D for last name. But in all seriousness, these guys are not serious at all, or super serious. It's kind of interesting. They combine electronic and rock in a way that I think is still kind of new. A lot of hard metal bands are incorporating like trap music or different types of EDM synthesizer party stuff, but these guys really like to show that they're from Britain. Their roots are pretty deep in that right now. This is their fourth record, Amazing Things. It came out October 22nd, and they've had a pretty good progression of their sound, and I think they get more and more complete each record so far. I discovered them on their third record. I think it was a 2019 record, Technology, and that was still, they were mostly this still very groovy early 2000s style pop rock band, a la like Fits in the Tantrums or Franz Ferdinand, or even later 2000s, early 2010s like Neon Trees, but heavier, almost to an alternative metal level. But a lot of people will argue, what makes metal or not. And I love the metal genre, but I think it's completely capable of reshaping itself and being more malleable than most other genres. I would call these guys a very low level alternative metal band, in the sense that they go really hard, they sound really loud and heavy, but it's still, your stadium rock anthem grooves and uh, catchy percussion and choruses and all of that. Technology for me was just really good rock dudes figuring out some electronic stuff. I jokingly would call them R&B metal because they had a more smooth, uh, romantic production, a little bit of, early sophisti-pop style, but with really heavy, crunchy riffs and loud chanting choruses, which they keep here, but they've gone so much deeper into the electronica well. They're way past just like little samples or simple, straightforward flourishes. I think about half of Technology was just a little samey, and sometimes their choruses didn't hit as well, but I think almost every chorus here on Amazing Things is just so easy to like chant and bang your head into. It's kind of frat broy and very party rock, but I think it's super ironic and it's also a little bit existential. Not in this like super oh my god kind of way where, you know, you have to reevaluate your whole life or it changes you forever, but it's just like, man, why is all we do pop pills and drink and shit? Is there more to that? Song Come Out to LA on Technology, I think was the best example of their literary uses on that record, where something like Come Out to LA, write a few songs, maybe you can break down in Hollywood. And that kind of lyricism shows up even more prolific and more creative here. There's a lot of blending of words that sound like different, a lot of double meanings the way they are sung. The first song, Gum Shield, is such a like fusion of big beat from the late 90s, specifically Prodigy, and a little bit of early 2000s new metal, very a la scratching records like mid 90s Deftones or the first two records of Linkin Park. Even, you know, give a little bit of credit for record scratching with Limp Bizkit, I know of all things, which these guys might unironically enjoy because that frat broiness was definitely there, but it was so serious and angry, and that's why people made fun of him. And I think a lot of people assume Don Broco is like that, but the lyricism is just so different. There are multiple songs talking about being pathetic or they don't need people, really like giving out their emotions on this record, constantly talking about how they feel and how they don't want to deal with anybody. Gum Shield is literally new metal Prodigy, while talking about a gum shield being like a mouth guard for like, you know, an MMA fighter or a boxer. So lyrically, it's about pushing people away or threatening people because they're uncomfortable with themselves. There's even a lyric where it just says, I think I need some help or protect me from myself. And that's repetitive throughout this whole record lyrically. Endorphins is literally just about being overly emotional in the most masculine way that I think you could talk about it on a party record that isn't more like a rap record style of how you talk about partying, like, you know, Kendrick Lamar's Drank. Everyone thinks was like a drinking song for a while until they realized it wasn't. And I think lyrically, definitely not musically or sonically at all, I think it's the same thing here, where this like big buff frat dude is realizing he's partying himself into an early grave. There's also surprisingly a more dip away from the R&B and soul style musings that was on Technology and more into the Brit pop and electropop stylings of like Gorillaz or Coldplay. Swimsuit Season is awesome. It really is just a louder, slapping, slamming song, and it's one of the best songs they've probably written. Uh, and that just is seems about, you know, like rich people and their vanity, and then it all come crashing down. Anaheim's another one. It's their softest and slowest song, and it's more of like just taking a breather because it's dead in the middle of the record and it's trying to decide, I think, literally where they are. Hence, you know, they're in Anaheim, but are they really? I know that seems like so over the top, but I think it is like over the top existential crisis for like seemingly perfect, why do you care, YOLO frat boy shit kind of attitudes, and then realizing that maybe there's more underneath the surface. Song a few tracks down is literally called How Are You Done With Existing? And it's almost trip hoppy. It's got some hi-hats and clicks in it that I remember from some good Massive Attack songs and records. And that's about as close to trip hop as it gets. It's more like just a slow, dark, pseudo electro pop, synth pop, industrial layerings, while the guys are their most genteel vocally and kind of moody, and it's definitely got a darker atmosphere. Also, atmospherically, I have to shout out that they decide to sing just a little bit like Deftones on One True Prince. So if you just want to see what a frat bro version of Deftones would sound like, you just check out that one. There's a lot of songs on here that are just violent and clearly someone pushing whoever they're talking to away. Uber and Bruce Willis, two separate songs, are just about fuck you, not today, and have a lot of new metal stylings, but in that modern pop format that you might see more on like 21 Pilots or AWOL Nation or something like that. They kind of cover all the bases. Any kind of like alternative electro pop alt rock stylings you could think of from the past like 15 years. They kind of fit into this, but with huge guitar riffs and just loud, demented frat bro MMA fight theme chanting. And it just kind of makes you wonder, it's like, is this 6'4" dude who like has this awesome girlfriend and doesn't have to like work his ass off for a living and has like early endorsements for the rest of his life, is he actually okay? And it's not like a pity me or pity the celebrity lifestyle shit. I think it's actually questioning if that's how we should live. I think on the flip side, I hear a lot of people defend that's what like Lana Del Rey does or Charlie XCX, where it's this super duper bubblegum party lifestyle or this glamorous smooth pop musings about, oh, is this all I am, is a party figure, and this is just the loud bro version. The semifinal song, Bad for Your Health, which is spelled with the letter 4 and UR, is when I realized that if technology was an album where the frat bro was realizing maybe his lifestyle was pointless and he was starting to question himself, that Amazing Things is definitely him in therapy. Long, grueling, arduous, exhausting therapy, and he can't get out, and he's cried a lot, and he's thrown several chairs through windows, and he keeps telling people he's fine, but he's not fine. And even though the whole record has a very aggressive party boy attitude or facade, I really think that's what it is. I think you can get past that very easily and just listen to the anxiety riddled through I'm just going to party my life away kind of feeling. Because, not all of us are introverts. Plenty of people who go out all the fucking time, even during the pandemic, who probably lose their minds with anxiety, and that's how they self diagnose and self medicate all the bullshit away the best they can. There's a lyric way back at the beginning of Gum Shield talking about this medicine makes everyone dance. So it's there. I hate to say that the best of these guys is lyrically. I actually think their electronical work is some of the best they've ever done. They have fully evolved, I think, than what technology was. Technology felt like a critique of what was going on with them and around them a lot, but Amazing Things feels like looking in the mirror and punching the fucking shit at mirror and then just going, oh, bro, dude, I cut my fucking hand. Why did I do that? Why did I cut my fucking hand, bro? And just starting to just scream about, are your bros really your bros? I'm going off the deep end now at this point. But I give it an 8 out of 10, like a solid 8 out of 10. I wouldn't be bothered by anyone who gave it less than that, like around a 6 or a 5-ish. It is still very straightforward. It's just got that good electronic shit, I think. And also anyone who brings back Big Beat. Because, like, if you're a fan of Prodigy at all, if you're a fan of Crystal Method or the Chemical Brothers, anything like that, anything close. They've also got a little bit of nods to like stuff like Eurythmics and Tears for Fears. So it's 30 years of moody new wave electronica Britpop and loud, I'm not gonna let you get to me, in your face industrial electronic sampling styles of alt rock. And I think they need a lot more recognition than they have. I mean, they definitely have way more recognition than I do, so I don't know who this video is for at this moment in time, but I think they're only going to get better. This is absolutely their best record, top to bottom. It has two of their best songs, I think. Gum Shield is just blistering. Even without the parts where he's just talking about, you know, fuck you, help me. No, fuck you, help me. It's great. And Swimsuit Season is just so perfectly put together. It's so good. The whole record's just a fun time, and don't drink the Kool-Aid too much, basically. And don't mix your uppers and downers. Don't do it. And that's it. That's all I got. Thanks.